Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. All you heard was Papa, don't hit me no more. Let's go. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Hey, hey, hey.
Usher's ex-manager is finally breaking his silence. And what is he spilling? It's messy, y'all. Like, the mess that makes everything we thought we knew about Usher and Diddy feel way darker. Turns out Usher didn't stay quiet to protect a brand. He was silenced, straight up pressured to keep his mouth shut while chaos was going down behind the scenes. We are talking real power plays, real control, and stuff no teenager should have ever had to live through. This wasn't some PR move. This was survival. Y'all, there is a lot to unpack here, so grab your pearls and let's get right into this shocking tale.
Y'all people got to ask me why am I jumping right now. I'm having fun. Hope y'all having fun on the other side of the camera. Out here recording my second video to be featured on BET pretty soon, so check it out. As well as the box, MTV and stuff like that.
Let's rewind to where this mess really started, when teen Usher got signed to Layface Records and was pretty much passed off to Diddy like he was a starter pack for the industry. That's when everything flipped. Usher was just 14, packing his bags and moving to New York to stay with Diddy. 14, y'all. No parents, no rules. Just a kid living in a grown man's world. That setup wasn't just off, it was a red flag waving in plain sight. Back then, they tried to sell it like Diddy was just mentoring him, showing him the ropes, teaching him the game. But then you got Diddy slipping up on camera, talking about how they used to wake up together. Nah, that's not mentorship. It's just weird. That's giving something way off and everybody could feel it. Even Usher sitting there looking uncomfortable as hell.
Brother right here from day one, we used to wake up and, pause, but like just out.
And from there, the red flags just kept piling up. Clips started making the rounds again from that super awkward Kevin Hart interview where Diddy starts joking about sharing Frosted Flakes with a young Usher. And Usher, he looked like he wanted the ground to swallow him whole. His shoulders stiffened, his face went blank. It was a major discomfort. You could tell he wasn't vibing with that joke at all.
I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes.
But it didn't stop there. Diddy just kept getting bolder with the comments, saying stuff like Usher used to sleep at his house, laughing like it was all just jokes. But at some point, the vibe started shifting. It stopped being funny. It started feeling dark. And here is where things take a turn, because it wasn't just the internet connecting the dots anymore. Usher himself started dropping hints, little by little, like he was trying to say something without saying it all out loud.
Something is in there. A lot of positions that I think I was put in where I had to make very tough decisions in my life about who I would be. I was 13 years old, and being 13, having that type of exposure, it was cool to go to Howard Homecoming with Puff. It was great to be able to go to Club USA or the Supper Club with Puffy in that time, or the Tunnel. But these are places that a 13-year-old probably should not be. And most kids will be excited about it. Most kids are trying to figure out how to be around hot girls, pretty girls. I'm around grown women, and I'm seeing them do things and have experiences that I'm not quite ready for. I think that he was just trying to show me the lifestyle. However, that's not what I was there for. I was there because I wanted a career, man. So we would fight, we would tussle. More than often, I think Puffy would say, man, you gotta chill, just a little bit too intense. You gotta relax. Yo, man, I'm here to work, man. I ain't saying in a week. 13 years old, hanging on this man as though I am the manager. I am the spokesperson for Usher. And I'm telling him, look, you're gonna put me in the studio, man. You got Biggie Smalls in there, you got Craig Mack in there. You're gonna make me a priority too. I'm not here to party with you. I don't wanna go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? I think as a kid, I realized, hey, look, that's not my ring. That's not my moment. That's not my bottle. That's not my drink. That's not my celebration. So I'm not here to celebrate. I wanted people to be excited about me the way that they were excited about him.
Alright, let's slide into the next part of this chaos, because Usher didn't just sit quietly and take it. He low-key tried to speak up, even if he never said names out loud, like in that Howard Stern interview where he said he got a chance to see some things. You could tell he was choosing his words carefully. When Howard tried to dig deeper, Usher kept it chill, but you could feel the weight. He said he pulled up to check out the lifestyle, and what he saw was wild stuff he could not even fully wrap his head around at the time. The only thing he said for sure, it was crazy.
You're gonna go to Puff Daddy's. He's gonna
in the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle,
Right.
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
Howard kept digging, asking if women ever came on to him, and Usher wasn't trying to spin it. He just said, "I ain't say that." The rest, he kept vague. He said some strange things were going on, and he didn't really understand what was happening back then. But the way he delivered it, calm on the outside, heavy underneath, felt like he was holding in way more than he was letting out.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
Howard even brought up whether Usher had to do chores or if he was out partying all night with the crew, and Usher kept it cool. He said, "I could. I actually stayed up longer than them. Like, imagine being 14 and outlasting grown men at their own game."
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 in the morning with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
Then, Howard asked if he could ever let his son go through what he did. Usher didn't even hesitate. He hit back with a quick, "Hell no!"
I had what
What
like
a
living
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
That right there says it all. Whatever Usher went through still lives in him, even as a grown man. The way he talks, the way his energy shifts when it comes up, it's not random. That's a pain he has been carrying for years. This wasn't just Diddy wilding out. This was the whole industry grooming kids to follow orders, stay quiet, and perform like puppets. And Usher was the blueprint, the first one they tried it all on. The test drive before they ran the same play on everyone else. The one they used to set the tone for how far they could go. Usher didn't just live through it, he confirmed it with his own words. In a 2004 interview, he didn't hold back. He admitted that Diddy was the one who exposed him to what he called a totally different set of shit, specifically, and he didn't say it casually either. It sounded like a major turning point in his life. At the time, people kind of shrugged it off, but now that quote is hitting real different. With Diddy getting locked up and all these disturbing stories popping back up, it paints a whole new picture. Usher, just a teen, being thrown into grown-up scenes he had no business being around, and the one leading the way, Diddy. And things got even messier once Usher's mom caught wind of what was going on. She didn't just raise an eyebrow, she went straight into mama bear mode. She was heated, y'all, like fully ready to pull up and shut it all down, and the plot thickens. Kim Porter's former stylist came out and claimed there was actual video footage of Diddy and Usher being way too close. Not industry friendly, close, inappropriate, close. And that footage, poof, gone. It mysteriously disappeared right around the time Kim Porter passed away. To make it even weirder, her house got broken into, and 2 laptops were stolen. Now put that together. The footage, the timing, the robbery, it was way too convenient. Like someone wanted that proof wiped out for good.
Was one of the first girls who was brave enough to get tapes and get what she needed to get. You understand? This is commerce, this is bank exchange on flesh and pride and ego. Tamika knew she could get Usher because she had evidence of what he was doing with the diddler. And guess what? Rather than going to the police and doing the right thing when that boy drowned on Lake Lanier, Usher did nothing for his stepchild. Matter of fact, I know for a fact he paid money to have that investigation shut down. And there has been talks that she was willing to sacrifice her child to get ahead. Now, don't forget, not long after that, she went into the coma. You remember she's in the coma? Because she got banished off. She had to get that plastic surgery cheap. She did. That's why she went out of country. Because she was told over here in the States that nobody would perform that ceremony. It was too dangerous for her, that surgery. It was too dangerous for her, and that went somewhere else. She kept going until she got somewhere with it, and they fixed up real good. And guess what? Not long after that, her and Usher was over. Yeah. Wasn't no love there. This black man.
And to make it even worse, people who were around back then said Diddy was taking Usher into VIP clubs while he was still a kid. Ed Lover, a well-known radio host, said he saw Usher, like an actual teenager, sipping champagne straight from the bottle, posted up next to grown men. This wasn't part of some big rollout or press tour. This was way before Usher had even dropped his first real project. He was still a kid with no album out, just caught up in grown man spaces he had no business being in.
I look to my right, and there's a kid standing there drinking champagne.
Oh, no.
And I couldn't help but wonder who the hell let their child come into this club, stand in the VIP section, and drink champagne. I mean, guzzling champagne out the bottle.
And now we get to the part that's straight up sickening. Gene Deal, a former bodyguard, said he heard something back then that still haunts him. Whispers were going around that Diddy had sent Usher to the hospital. Not for something small, this was serious. According to Gene, people were saying Puff sent this kid to the hospital and he was bleeding from the...
Looking at this lawsuit, right, Lil Ron, he alleges that, Diddy told him personally that he has Usher. And when you look at the lawsuit, even though they got Usher's name redacted, you could tell who it is because they describe him as the guy that performed at the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, I mean, we all know who that is, but how you feel about that, man?
Well, I mentioned that earlier, that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. But he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying, about the business. I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right. Let Usher explain that to you. Let Usher mama explain that to you. And the hospital was in Scarsdale, New York.
Now let that sink in. Deal said he didn't even know who Usher was back then, but the things he heard stuck with him hard. He remembered people whispering about what went down, and when he finally realized the kid they were talking about was Usher, it hit him completely differently. Later on, more people started speaking up, saying that is exactly what happened. And Deal summed it up best, I don't know, man. This shit is crazy. Just saying it out loud is enough to make your stomach turn. Even if just a piece of that story is real, that's not just abuse, that's flat out evil. Gene Deal also said Usher was around stuff no kid should have ever seen, let alone been a part of. This wasn't just Usher catching glimpses of a wild lifestyle. This was a kid thrown into a space that erased every normal line between childhood and adulthood. He was surrounded by grown energy, adult expectations, and mature secrets. And when you put Gene's story next to Usher's own quiet confessions, it's like a puzzle that suddenly clicks. The full picture starts to come into focus, and it's disturbing. Let's keep it real. Diddy didn't earn loyalty. He created fear. People were not sticking around because they believed in him. They stayed because they knew the cost of walking away. That's silence, it wasn't respect, it was survival. Here is where it goes from bad to downright sinister. People behind the scenes say Diddy didn't just want Usher quiet, he made sure of it at every level. We are talking NDAs, threats, pressure from the label, everything lined up to keep that whole era buried deep. Usher wasn't just another artist. He was the cash cow, the face of their success. And if he ever told the truth, that whole machine would have come crashing down in flames. And this isn't some isolated thing either. Other voices have been calling this out for years. Orlando Brown, Jaguar Wright, Gene Deal, 50 Cent, even Exhibit. One after another, they have all said pieces of the same story, different angles, same messed up pattern. And the more time passes, the more people start stepping forward. Even now in 2025, Usher is still picking his words. He is a dad now. He has got a whole legacy to protect. But word on the street is that his ex-manager might be done staying quiet. And they are not just talking. They are pulling out real receipts, contracts, messages, the full story of how Usher got controlled, managed, and muzzled from the very start. This was never just about Usher. This is about an entire system that protected one powerful man while the ones he allegedly hurt had to deal with the wreckage in silence. Let's be real, the audience got used too. We watched Usher blow up. We clapped. We danced. danced, we streamed everything, and filled Diddy's pockets without knowing what was really going on. The trauma, it was right there with him on stage the whole time. Back then we didn't see it, but now it's loud and clear, and we can't unsee it. And here's what really hits hard. Usher's silence wasn't some personal choice. It was forced. He wasn't just watching from the sidelines, he was caught in it, groomed, allegedly pushed into scenes no kid should have ever been around, and the adults who were supposed to protect him. Most looked the other way. Others zipped their lips while lining their pockets. Through it all, Usher has been holding all this with quiet strength for years. But just because he handled it with grace doesn't mean he owes the industry his silence, especially not the same system that almost broke him. If he ever drops the full truth, it won't just be a healing moment, it will be a full reset that could flip the industry on its head. So y'all better stay locked in, because this story about Usher, Diddy, and everything they tried to bury, it's just getting started. If you made it this far, drop a like to keep this truth on your side of the internet, and let us know in the comments what you think about Usher being forced into silence. Do you believe this will finally crack the industry open? That's it for now, but trust, there's more on the way. So stay alert, keep watching, and stay ready. This saga is nowhere near finished.